So in this video we're going to go through changing the disc on an angle grinder from cutting disc to a grinding disc. Cutting disc is used for cutting through. This type is for steel. It's much thinner, so it will get a nice clean cut as it goes through, and also you won't have to remove loads of material actually cutting through. The important thing to note is whenever you're changing a disc, you have to do it right up, because you don't want any flexing as you're using the grinder, otherwise the disc could shatter. Also, whenever you handle the discs in your garage or wherever you store them, make sure you don't drop them, because if you drop them they could crack, and then when you're trying to grind something later, because of the speed of the disc, it could fly apart and clearly cause you some injury. So all we need to do is nearly all brands of all brands of grinder will have a kind of lock button here, or somewhere around the top, so you can actually lock the spindle in order to take off the actual disc. So we're just going to lock the spindle there, and that will stop the spindle spinning. And we're just going to use our nut removal tool here. Just take off the disc on the top. Just a bit of leverage so you can get the disc off initially. There we go. Just replace it with the new disc. It's important to note that you always should have the grinding surface on the outside. If you were to put it that way, then clearly you wouldn't be able to use the grinder. Let's just place the disc back down. Often the locking nuts will have a kind of embossed edge. This, for deep discs, fits into the inside of the disc, so you've got like a constant seal of metal all the way through. On thinner discs there isn't enough space for both of them to fit through the middle, so you just use the flat edge here straight onto the disc, like so. So as you can see, there's the bump on the outside. So just go spin it back into place. Again, make sure you're holding down the locking pin. You want to make sure it's nice and tight. And there we go. That's your disc change. We're now ready for, rather than cutting, we're now going to do some grinding, taking off the edges of, in this case, a fire extinguisher that we're later going to be using used for a crucible, just so we can take off all the burrs. So as you can see at the moment, there's quite a sharp edge on this. I've just cut it off. So yeah, we're going to take off the outside of that, because we don't want to cut our fingers or anything when we use the crucible later on.